What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and this Saturday, Sean Strickland is back to take on Anthony Hernandez, and it's actually a pretty good fight night card. So I'm going to give you guys my predictions for all the fights on the main card, starting with the main event. We've got Sean Strickland taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, and I think I'm going to go with Sean Strickland to get this done. I feel like Sean Strickland is by far the better striker in this matchup, and I think he's one of the best strikers in the middleweight division. We've seen him outstrike Nasser Dinimov. He knocked out Brendan Allen, and obviously he had that fight with Israel Adesanya, and I think Sean Strickland's grappling is good enough to defend the takedowns from Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez, he's the type of guy that, he'll break his opponents down. Very often they'll defend the first takedown, but maybe the second or the third is the one that gets him that takedown. But I think Strickland will be able to keep defending the takedowns from Anthony Hernandez. We've seen Dricus du Plessis try to take Strickland down. He had a little bit of success, but whenever he did take Sean Strickland down, Sean Strickland was able to get back up to his feet right away. Dricus wasn't really able to control a guy like Sean, and we've seen Dricus control Israel Adesanya a little bit. We've seen Dricus control Robert Whittaker, who's actually a pretty good grappler defensively. And I think Sean Strickland can stop the takedowns and work his way back up once he gets taken down. And once he's on the feet, I think he's got to let his hands go. He's got an incredible jab. He's got those lovely front kicks to the body that I think can slow down a cardio machine like Anthony Hernandez. But Strickland is a guy that doesn't get tired. He is a 5-round fighter, and I think we're going to see a clean performance from Sean Strickland defending the takedowns, letting his hands go on the feet, controlling the octagon, and I think this is what's going to happen for 5 rounds. And I think Sean Strickland will win a 49-46 decision victory. Then we got Hands of Steel, Jeff Neal taking on Uros Medic. And this is a close one, but I think I'm going to go with Uros Medic getting this done. I feel like Medic is very clean on the feet. He's very fluid. And I think he's just going to have more output in this one than Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal, I think he has got a lot of potential. He's great, but sometimes you do see him not have the highest outputs, and fighters are kind of outstriking him, and obviously he did get knocked out really badly in his last fight against Carlos Pratas, so he has taken quite a bit of damage in his career. He's getting on the older side, and I think that we're going to see Medic with the faster hands, faster strikes, and more output in this one. So I think he's going to get himself a 29-28 decision victory. Hopefully Jeff Neal can show his aggressiveness and his skills, because he is one of the best fighters in the world when he is more aggressive, when he is on the front foot. But I think he is going to lose this one. And then we've got Dan 100K Ige taking on Melquizael Costa. And I'm going to go with Costa getting this done by decision. He's been on a rampage recently. He's on a great win streak. His striking looks a lot better, a lot cleaner, and he looks a lot more confident. I feel like he's really getting to that point where he's getting close to his prime. And Dan Ige is always game. He's always tough and durable. So I don't see Ige getting finished here, but I do think that Costa is the slightly better guy. He's got great kicks at range, and I think that's where he's going to need to keep Dan Ige at. You don't want Ige in that pocket. Ultimately, I think Costa is going to have an easier time getting to Ige, whereas Dan Ige is going to have a hard time getting to him and closing that distance, and I think he can pick him apart from a good kicking range. Moving on to Sergey Spivak taking on Ante Delija, and I'm going to go with Ante Delija getting this done by second round KO or second round TKO. I think that he's got the much faster hands. He's cleaner on the feet, and I think he's going to be able to defend the takedowns of Sergey Spivak, who doesn't have the strongest takedowns in the heavyweight division. And I think in the second round, we're going to see something big coming from Ante Delija and stopping Sergey Spivak. Then we've got Jacoby Smith taking on Josiah Harrell, and somebody's O has got to go. And I think Harrell's O will go. I think Jacoby Smith will get this done. I think his early aggression and his very explosive style will overwhelm Harrell for the first 2 rounds. But I do think we're going to see Jacoby Smith start to slow down at close to the end of the second round. And I think in the third round, we're going to see Josiah Harrell start putting a bit of a beating on Jacoby Smith, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late, and I think we're going to see Jacoby Smith secure himself a 29-28 decision victory. I think both guys are very talented, but I think Jacoby Smith's explosiveness and his aggression is going to get him those first 2 rounds. But then we've got Zachary Reeves taking on Michel Pereira, and I'm going to go Zachary Reeves getting this done by a third round TKO. I think Zachary Reese is improving a lot, or seeing a lot of improvements to his game, whereas Michel Pereira, I feel like he's on a bit of a decline. He didn't really look that good against Abus Magomedov, and obviously he got knocked out clean by another southpaw in Kyle Dawkins. That was a clean right hook, and we could see something similar from Zachary Reese. We see Michel Pereira keep his hands quite low, and against southpaw, that could be dangerous, especially when you're moving laterally. And Zach Reese is a big middleweight. He's got long reach, he's tall, and I think he's going to be able to outstrike Michel Pereira on the front foot. But that is it for my predictions for this week's fight night. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know who you got in the main event. Well, thank you guys for watching. God bless, and I will see you in the next one.